Hey guys, so I went to Target yesterday, and if you've ever been to Target, then you know that they usually have one end cap in the beauty section that is dedicated to nail polish, and then they'll have multiple shelves, and each shelf represents a different brand, and they'll have like a special little display. I think 99% of the times that I've been to Target it's set up that way. So I was looking at that end cap, and my eyes went to the Sinful Colors display shelf. And I was looking all through the polishes, and it was all messed up. I don't know if it's just me, if I have a little touch of OCD, or what the problem is, but I can't stand it when I'm looking at a display and I can clearly see that the polishes that were put in the little slots are not the ones that belong in that slot. It's like when they set up the display, they just put them all in there and they didn't put them in the right places. That drives me crazy. So I started, there were, this is kind of embarrassing. Now I'm wondering if I should even be saying this. But you know what? Hey, this is reality, folks. So this is me, take it or leave it. I started fixing the display. And one of the slots that was in the display said lavender. And I was like, ooh, lavender. And I looked all through, and none of the bottles said lavender. So I thought, I wonder. So I went over to the section where the Sinful Colors regular permanent area would be, and sure enough, I found some called lavender. So I grabbed one, and this is what it looks like. And I had never seen this before, and it was in the regular section. There was a slot in the permanent section, and there was a slot in this display. So I had never seen this before, and I thought it was really pretty. It's kind of a cross between blue and purple. It's, I would say, yeah, it's a blue that definitely leans purple. So I thought that was really pretty, so I bought that. And then the next thing my eye went to was this. This is called Green Ocean, and it is a gorgeous green flaky top coat. If you're not familiar with nail polish terminology, it's basically a clear fluid with green, what they call flakies, suspended in it, and you use that as a top coat, and then it just gives you like a special effects type thing. And when the light hits it, it's actually green and blue flakies suspended in a clear fluid. So yeah, Green Ocean. Since I saw that display, which by the way, I took some pictures of the display so that you could see what I was talking about. So let me just insert those pictures right now. Okay, so now you've actually seen the display. I tried to do that as nonchalantly as possible, but there were a lot of Target employees walking around, and stores are kind of funny about you taking pictures or videos or anything like that, so I don't like to tempt fate, so I tried to do it very nonchalantly, take a few pictures of this display. So anyway, since I got home and did the research, I found out that this Green Ocean was a color that they normally release for St. Patrick's Day every year, along with some other colors. So I just thought it was gorgeous, and you know, to me this does not scream St. Patrick's Day. When I think of St. Patrick's Day, I think of a different type of shade. But anyways, this is what I have on my nails, and I couldn't decide what I was going to layer it over because I thought that this was going to be easy. My idea was to layer this over a similar color. Like when you look at this, you definitely see a specific shade of green. And I thought, oh, you know, I'm sure I must have something that I can layer that over at home. And when I looked at my nail polishes, I really didn't see anything. So I thought, okay, I'm going to need to pick out something that will be complementary, and this is obviously a very cool shade of green. So I decided to go with a cool blue or blue green. So I went with China Glaze Turned Up Turquoise, which is a neon polish, and it's also a matte finish, and I thought, that might make for a very interesting combination to put a shimmery flaky over a matte. I don't think I had ever tried that before. So that's what this is anyway. My nails are the Sinful Colors Green Ocean over China Glaze Turned Up Turquoise. And once again, I'm going to show you a picture because sometimes it's easier to show things in a picture than it is in the video, because you would have to see this right in exactly the right lighting and angle, and I would have to hold my hand exactly a certain distance from the camera. So I'm going to insert a picture of my manicure that I have on right now so that you'll be able to see it better. Okay, so hopefully that helped. And you know, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think that the reason why I haven't been very enthusiastic about my manicures lately, until recently. And I think the reason why I'm like going back to getting really enthusiastic and psyched about doing my nails is all because of that base coat that I told you guys about. The NYX New York Color Strip Me Off base coat. This is what I use now exclusively as my base coat. And then I had also purchased the New York Color in a New York Minute Quick Dry in Grand Central Station. I've been using this as a top coat. These two things have gotten me excited about doing my nails again because, all right, let's take for example, you do your nails. I did the base coat, 2 coats of the China Glaze polish, then a coat of the Sinful Colors Flaky, then the Grand Central Station top coat. That's a lot of layers, a lot of work, you know, takes some time. And things happen. As you go through your life, you can be as careful as you want to be. Like I wear like rubber gloves to wash dishes, and if I'm going to use any kind of harsh chemicals to clean with, I put my gloves on. I try to protect my nails as much as I can, but it doesn't matter. Things happen anyway. And just to give you a freaky example of something that happened, this morning I was flossing my teeth and I had the floss wound around my fingers. And because this is a flaky nail polish, even though I have a top coat over it, there are still little shards of flakies that stick out a little bit. The floss got caught on one of the flakies, and when I pulled the floss off the nail, a big chunk of it came off. Now normally, if I had on a normal base coat and top coat, I would have to redo all my nails. And I hadn't even had this manicure on for 24 hours. But because I use this New York Color Strip Me Off base coat, all I had to do was peel off the polish from that one nail and just redo that one nail, and I was good to go. So it makes a huge, huge difference, because if you try to just take the polish off one nail with traditional polish remover, what would normally happen is, as you were doing that, no matter how careful you were trying to be, you would inadvertently remove some of the polish from the rest of your manicure. Just because, you know, the cotton ball or cotton square or whatever would accidentally touch it, or, you know, that sort of thing. So if it wasn't for this base coat, I don't think that I would be as excited about doing my nails as I have been recently. And doing this sort of exotic bright manicure has really gotten me thinking now about different manicures that I can do and different ways that I can use the polishes that I already have without. It's really fun to buy new things, but I have a large collection and I enjoy using, you know, the things that I have too. So I started thinking about different ways that maybe I can use this Sinful Colors Green Ocean and make it look completely different depending on what I put it over. Because, you know, like I said, for this manicure I've got the China Glaze turned up turquoise, but I started looking at my polishes and I thought, okay, another way I could go is to put a lighter polish underneath it. And this is Sinful Colors Mint Apple. And I thought that might look really pretty too. And then another way that I could go is with a green. This is Barry M Spring Green. And I thought that would look really pretty too. And if you're wondering how do I get Barry M nail polish, because this is a UK brand, Barry M ships to most countries in the United States. I had placed a huge order from them at one time. I ordered a bunch of their nail polishes and a bunch of their Dazzle Dusts, which are just basically loose eyeshadows, like an eyeshadow pigment. And so if you've ever been curious about Barry M and wanted to try it, chances are you can place an order with them. It does get a little confusing because of the conversion rate between like their currency and whatever currency that your country uses. And I had a little bit of a shock when I got the final information for that when I had placed my order, because when I placed the order originally I was seeing their prices, but the conversion rate is not that much different now between the United States and the UK. At that time that I had placed the order, there was a huge difference, but there isn't that much of a difference now because the British pound has weakened and the American dollar has gotten stronger. Yeah, I think I said that right. I'm not an economist, so I don't know. But anyways, yeah, there's only 3 countries that Barry M will not ship to, and it's not that they don't want to, it's because of shipping rules for like hazardous waste and that sort of thing. Because believe it or not, most countries consider nail polish to be hazardous waste. Like, you can't fly nail polish in the United States. If you're a regular person, you can't send nail polish to anybody and they can't send it to you. Now, it wasn't always that way. Because my friend June and I used to send each other nail polish, but we can't do it anymore because now it's considered hazardous waste. However, with companies, for some reason they make an exception, so I think you can still place orders with companies, but just you can't do it like as an individual use. I've flown with nail polish, like to take a vacation and stuff. I've bought nail polish while I was on vacation and then flew back with it, but I think that they do have restrictions about that too, where they'll only let you bring so many, like in your checked luggage or whatever. But anyways, boy, talk about getting off on a tangent, huh? But anyways, my point is that I want to start getting more back into nail polish again and try out some different combinations from polishes that I have, because I have a lot of like special effects top coats and things like that that are really fun to layer over regular polish. I feel like the most beautiful complex manicures that I've ever seen were things that were done by taking an ordinary nail polish to start with and then putting on some type of special effects top coat, whether it be a flaky or shimmer or remember everybody was into those splatter effect things where you put the polish on and then it shattered and separated, and you don't see that much anymore, but there's always something interesting going on. I'm much better off at that type of manicure or special effects top coat than I am nail art. I am not an artistic person. I really admire people who can do things like that, but I'm not good at drawing or doing things, drawing things evenly, or even a simple nail art thing. Sometimes I have trouble with it. I think I've done like one video like that since I've been on YouTube, and it's because I'm just not good at it. So I would rather stick to doing manicures that require layering different types of polish over each other. So that's basically all I wanted to say, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!